Hello and welcome. So, today we're going to be doing some right triangle trigonometry. So, suppose we have a right triangle that contains an angle theta in quadrant 1, such that sine of theta equals 1/5, and then enter the exact values of the trig function below. Alright, well, if you may not remember, quadrant 1 is going to be of your four quadrants, right? This is 1, 2, 3, and 4. One's that top right quadrant here. So if you have a triangle in the first quadrant, theta always close to the origin. Here's your right angle, right? Now we're going to find sine of this triangle. We're told sine of this triangle. And we said that from our angle theta, we have a side ratio of 1/5. And we know that sine, using SOHCAHTOA, right, sine is going to be the opposite over the hypotenuse. So this is your O, this is your H. And from theta, here's your opposite side, that's 1. Your hypotenuse is across from your right angle, so this is your 5. And now you have your triangle built, you have your numbers there, use Pythagorean theorem, find the third side of your triangle. So you say, okay, well, leg squared, which we don't know what this one is, I'm going to call it A. So leg squared plus the other leg squared equals your hypotenuse squared. Alright, well that's a squared plus 1 equals 25. Alright, and then how would you solve for a? Well, subtract 1, both sides, so we get a squared equals 24. And then how are we going to do squares? Square roots. So then we have a equals plus or minus square root of 24, right? You take a square root, you got to remember plus or minus on both sides. So now we have the plus or minus square root 24, and I'd say, alright, well, which one is it, plus or minus? Well, think about it. Quadrant 1, you're moving to the right. Right is a positive number, and thus the plus. So you have a positive root 24. Okay. Now 24 is 2 and 12, which is 2 and 6. 6 is 2 and 3, so that's not going to help you any further. You can pull out a 2, so you have 2 square root 6. Because if you break that down to 2 and 3, you don't have 2 of the same thing, which means you wouldn't be able to simplify it any further. So 2 square root 6 is your answer for that missing side. Now that you have the side down, now you can just finish it up. Or you'd say, okay, side, we have 1/5. That was literally given to us. Don't miss it. Here's your sine is 1/5. Okay, cosine is your adjacent and hypotenuse. Your adjacent is the literal side adjacent to theta, which is 2 root 6. So then we have that cosine of theta equals 2 root 6 over hypotenuse 5. Your 2 and 5 don't simplify at all, so you can't do anything with that, right? Square root doesn't have anything we can do with it. And so 2 root 6 over 5 is your answer for cosine. Then we do one more. We have tangent. Tangent is opposite side over the adjacent side. Your opposite side, as we discovered with sine, was 1. So we have 1 over your adjacent, which we have as 2 root 6. Okay. Now, 1 and 2, again, there's nothing to simplify there. If you wanted to rationalize this, you could. So if you have 1 over 2 square root 6, you could multiply both sides, top and bottom, by root 6. And then you would get root 6 over 12. Because that would be 2 square root 36, which is just 6 and 6. 6 comes out, multiplies with the 2. And then you could also put this answer in and would accept it. Okay, so now once you have sine, cosine, and tangent, the other three, so easy to get. Okay, because once you have your main three, the other three are what we call reciprocal functions, which all we do is we take sine and say, okay, the reciprocal of that is 5 over 1, or in other words, 5. And I'd say, all right, well, which one of our three functions is reciprocal to sine? Is it secant, cosecant, or cotangent? Well, the best way to remember is with s with a c. So if it starts with an S, its reciprocal should start with a C. Right? Likewise, cosine starts with a C, its reciprocal should start with an S. Now, the only one that actually sounds like it should go together is tangent and cotangent, and those are reciprocals of each other. So it's okay. So sine is 1/5, its reciprocal 5 over 1, in other words 5. That's your value to cosecant. Your tangent is 1 over 2 root 6, which, if you flip that, you get 2 root 6 over 1, or in other words, just 2 root 6. Bam! Done. Right, last but not least, cosine and secant. So if you take 2 root 6 over 5, we flip it, we get 5 over 2 root 6, which you could technically rationalize. You would get 5 root 6 over 12 if you wanted to rationalize that. Also an acceptable answer, or you can leave it unrationalized, either or on that. And there you go. That is everything there is for this one. 6 trig functions. Thanks for watching.